14 gone into 15, I make a present soul.
Lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, what make you praise the soul? Lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, what make you praise the soul?
I make money down and a man hold me hand and I make a present soul. I make money down and a man hold me hand and I make a present soul. Stupid Gary, let's shame mommy, go marry, go one gold ring, stupid gold ring, stupid lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, will make you present soul. Lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, will make you present soul. This make a present, I make a present, this make a present soul. This make a present, I make a present, this make a present soul.
Lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, what make you praise the soul? Lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, what make you praise the soul?
He make a present, she make a present, you make a present soul. He make a present, she make a present, you make a present more.
Lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, what make you praise the soul? Lily girl, lily girl.
Lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, will make you praise the soul. Lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, will make you praise the soul. Come out to 14, gone into 15, I make a praise the soul. Come out to 14, gone into 15, I make a praise the soul.
Lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, what make you praise the soul? Lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, what make you praise the soul?
I make money down and a man hold me hand and I make a present soul. I make money down and a man hold me hand and I make a present soul. Stupid Gary, let's shame mommy, go marry, go one gold ring, stupid gold ring, stupid lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, will make you present soul. Lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, will make you present soul. This make a present, I make a present, this make a present soul. This make a present, I make a present, this make a present soul.
Lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, what make you praise the soul?
Lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, will make you praise the soul. Lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, will make you praise the soul. Come out to 14, gone into 15, I make a present soul. Come out to 14, gone into 15, I make a present soul.
Lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, what make you praise the soul? Lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, what make you praise the soul?
I make money down and a man hold me hand and I make a present soul. I make money down and a man hold me hand and I make a present soul. Stupid Gary, let's shame mommy, go marry, go one gold ring, stupid gold ring, stupid lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, will make you present soul. Lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, will make you praise the soul. Lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, will make you praise the soul. Come out to 14, gone into 15, I make a present soul. Come out to 14, gone into 15, I make a present soul.
Lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, what make you praise the soul? Lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, what make you praise the soul?
I make money down and a man hold me hand and I make a present soul. I make money down and a man hold me hand and I make a present soul. Stupid Gary, let's shame mommy, go marry, go one gold ring, stupid gold ring, stupid lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, lily girl, will make you present soul.
There and fabricate that unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
So my relationship? Nothing. He's a tenant in my place, yeah.
And he's a good friend.
Thank you so much for that. But if I could have a point of privilege, this is a family dialogue. If one person wants to talk longer, I am available to listen. So we're going to do this like we're sitting in the kitchen. I want to hear from you. I want to know the challenges. And so I'm not here representing your government. I'm here as a representative.
All right, hey guys, we're ready to rock and roll tonight. How are you doing? Let me say hello to all of the beautiful people in the salons. Those of you who own salons, you do nails, you do hair, whatever it is that you do. And those of you who help to put on, lipsticks and all these manner of things, if you know what I mean. And if you know, you know. Hey, guess what? We're going to rock and roll this evening. We have lots and lots of important things to talk about, but it looks as though people's bumps are raising. People's bumps are getting higher and higher and higher. They are running scared. Hey, if you are now joining us, guess what? It is Straight Up, and we're here to be straight up with you. We are here to tell you exactly what is happening, and we're here to expose them. And come next elections, they will be disposed of. Even though they've been installed, and they know why they were installed. Jagdeo knows why he was installed. He knows it. He knows that people are aware of how he was able to rig elections upon elections. And they caught him with his slips down. Oh, yeah. They caught him with his wig off. They caught him with his lipsticks off and all manner of things, that the rigging and rigging and rigging of elections. How are you guys doing? And now we talk about the rigging of elections because those are important things that we're here to talk about. We're not here to wear a lipstick and bench up was this in prison. What manner of, when you look at the type of leaders, so-called leaders in a country who would sit at a press conference or so-called press conference and divert attention from serious issues and talk about this person, talk about that person, talk about all manner of things. I don't know. Guyana has gone to the dogs, so to speak. Because look at the sort of low lives, look at the sort of criminals who are running Guyana. They are a bunch of gangsters, 2-cent penny gangsters. That is what they are. Oh my gosh, back in the days, they used to say, call people crackheads and things. I'm not like that. I don't call people those things. But if I were to call Jagdeo and all of them crackheads, they would look for that. And mind you, I have more respect for real crackheads than these dummies who are running and ruining Guyana. Flatfoot hustlers indeed, Leslie Thomas, Hamilton, sorry. How are you guys doing? And hey, if you haven't shared the link as yet, what are you waiting for? You've got to share the link because I got lots of links to share tonight right here on 107.1 FM. Well, we know what has happened. Brutus is home, and over $6 million bill, and they've just reached about, 30-something of the charges? 30 something of the 239 or 240 charges. I don't know, but we'll get to that. I hope, and this is what I'm saying. I hope Brutus is singing and singing and singing. You know, like that Calypsonian singing Francine? The singing Francine? Well, I hope Brutus is singing and singing. But as we hope that Brutus is singing and singing, we know who's running scared. Jagdeo. Bumps raising for obvious reasons. And now at his press conference, or so-called press conference today, you know that his bumps raised because he's being tickled and as he's being cornered and so forth and so on. He has nothing productive, nothing edifying, nothing at all of substance to talk to you guys, talk to the nation about. And it goes to show another example as to why we are where we are. A bunch of flatfoot hustlers ruining that country. These are the same people, the same Jagdeo and these guys, and thanks to the coalition government. You guys see it here. This was 2016. For many years, Jagdeo didn't want, the PPP didn't want the anti-money laundering bill to be passed. And so they zigzag and so forth so that they can not only protect their friends and cronies, it was basically to protect themselves as well. Because a lot of them, and Jagdeo is well aware of this, and maybe the compass could point in his direction too, in terms of his involvement. Mind you, it is said that he is involved in large-scale money laundering. Oh, yeah. And so Jagdeo and the PPP didn't want the money laundering bill to be passed. And guess what? Guess who passed it? It was the coalition government that passed it. But every single day they sit and they cuss the coalition out. But at the end of the day, while the coalition government wasn't perfect, they were 100% better than these gangsters, these criminals who are in office. And I say this with, and I do really mean it. Now, let's get down to some other stuff. Brutus is out of the way. He's home probably. No SWAT team surrounding his home, at least not tonight. And had it not been for social media, Jagdeo probably may have gotten his wish, which was to probably execute. And you guys know what I mean by execute, right? Was to basically finish off, wipe off Brutus. Maybe that's exactly why Jagdeo ensured that his SWAT team was out there. But Brutus is home. Hope Brutus is talking. Hope Brutus is singing. I hope so. All right. So what else is happening that we can talk about? That China bank account, that Jagdeo, it is reported that Jagdeo has a bank account or maybe one or two bank accounts in China with billions of US dollars. And so he's running scared. He's afraid. And so at his press conference, or so-called press conference earlier today, he did say, because he talked a bunch of crap and about 3,000+ people joining the PYO. For 20-something years, they never cared about youths in the country, whether they're PYO or whether they're not PYO, whether they're YSM. It doesn't matter. Jagdeo and the PPP never cared, never showed any sort of concern for those young people. Now, suddenly, he so care about young people and 3,000. Those 3,000 people that they're talking about, guess what? They were able to pay people, bus people in, and give them free T-shirts so that they can take photographs, the optics. Because if you're going to tell us, or if you're going to tell the people, and reading from a script that says 80-something young people from Rose Hall, 80-something young people from Rose Hall, 140-something young people from Skeldon. Well, something is definitely wrong. In Skeldon alone, got at least 5,000-6,000 young people. That's just an average. And if out of 5,000-6,000 young people, you can only muster up 140 or 130 something. If in Rose Hall, you could just get about 60 young people. Something then is wrong with you, Jagdeo. We know that something is definitely wrong with you. You are not good with the numbers, even though you like to play around. with the numbers, especially at GCOM and so forth, and play around with the numbers. As long as you have money, Jagdeo is there to play around with the numbers. He likes doing that, playing around with the numbers. And so anywhere you see him, ensure that you get your calculator, get your your telescope, because he is calculating money, and you zoom in with your telescope to see how much he's thieving, because that is what he's about. He's not a leader, he is a divider. He has been wrecking that nation for so long, and people maybe outside of Guyana, they do have a lot of files on Jagdeo, lots of files, and the corruption is rampant in Guyana. The only thing that's probably saving some of those folks from going after him and getting him and putting bangles on him and so forth is because maybe of the oil, the billions of dollars of oil. That's probably what is saving him for now. And hey, don't forget, it's the same Jagdeo who was so afraid to travel to the United States of America just a couple months ago. And so after he decided now to clear the way, and he was, oh, that's okay, you can come on. Oh yeah, probably went to Queens, stopped by the doctor, got a little injection here, a little injection there, and so forth. But Jagdeo, in short, this is how scared this guy is. He left his actual phone, turned it off, and left it in his vehicle back in Guyana, locked it and left it in his vehicle, and he traveled with a new phone. So that, you know why he traveled with a new phone? He's afraid that the boys at the airport, whether JFK or wherever, and this time he came through JFK, he was afraid that they were going to pull him over again. Because the last time we were told that he was pulled over, he cried. And now here we go with this crying thing. Anybody that is known for crying is Jagdeo. He has been crying since his days in Russia. He has been crying, he's been running around, and even when he goes into the pool and he bathes with amen, right? Sorry, he goes into the pool and he bathes with, he swim around the pool with, and can I get an amen? Man, he cries like a little, you know what? But we're not here to soil up this show with who cry like a little. We already know that when he was pulled in for fitness by U.S. law enforcement agents, he's not going to want to tell you guys that he cried like a little. That is why he stayed away from traveling back to the U.S. for so long, because he was trembling. His bumps were raising and he didn't know what to expect. And so he is, of all person, he's the last one to talk about who cried. And now here it is. You lock a man up, an innocent man, and that's an innocent man, 5 years snuffed out of his life, 5 years in solitary. And do you know what's the meaning of solitary confinement? For 5+ years in a filthy little cell? Do you know that? For 5+ years, but yet Jagdeo is comfortable. He calls himself a leader. He describes himself as the vice president of Guyana, and he sits at a talk shop, and all he can talk is trash. No apology, no nothing, and he's laughing about the situation after you snuff 5 years out of an individual's life. 5 years on a trumped-up treason charge, and all of those 5 years in solitary confinement. Solitary confinement means that you are there all by yourself. Nobody to put wig on you, nobody to put lipstick on you, something Jagdeo is quite familiar with. Wigs and lipsticks and other stuff. And so he wants to as we would say in Guyana, dab his nasty attitude and his lipstick on others, but not me. Hell no, not me. But we have other stuff. I want to talk to you guys about that China bank account. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back with more of Straight Up. Do share the link, please. We can't use them, the girl them, make a reject them, the girl them, come make a run them, cause they call them, I love to run down when you call them. They want to make you settle down, you call them. Everywhere you go, you see them, you know them. And that's some fight, so that's not right. You know them walking off the arms. Come on, as a young girl, I'm sure a lot of you, especially old-time flatbushers, good night to all of you. That's just what the nation has come to, and then sometimes you just got to respond to those Nimakarams, those Katahars, those Korhis, those Tede Kabur, Nani Kachudor. You've just got to respond to them, and likewise, in like manner. And we are not afraid to dish it out at all. And we will continue to dish it out against all of them because they're using taxpayers' monies to come after and attack us. They're losing this battle, and the more they continue with that nonsense, we will intensify the pressure right here on 107.1 FM, right on social media. The other activists, the other commentators will intensify that pressure, whether it is Duncan, whether it is Burke, whether it is Norman Brown, whether it is Kadaki, whether it is David Hines, whether it is Wayne Caesar, it doesn't matter, Hollingsworth, and all of them. And Otto Martin too. Otto is part of the crew too, because we are not afraid of Jagdeo and his crew. They are using hundreds of millions of dollars, taxpayers' dollars, to come after us. But we are not trembling. We are not afraid. We'll take a next break, and we'll be right back with more of Straight Up.
Now this one goes out to all them hard worker man who love the black bottle. Before and after hard work. Give me. I want a hard worker, a man that can keep up pressure in any kind of weather. Hire me and I go do the work. Mr. Man, I ain't making joke. Give me hard work, round the clock. Yes, give me hard work. Come rock me up. Walk. Make me perspire. Walk. I say give me pressure. Hey, give me hard work. Round the
The girl them, say we no want them. The girl them, we can't use them. The girl them, make we reject them. The girl them, come make we run them. Cause the girl them love to run down when you call them. They want me can't settle down, you call them. Everywhere you go, you see them, you know them. And that's some fight, and that's not right. You know them walking off the arms. Come on, as a young girl, I go up in your era. You know to make yourself get too regular. Cause every man we come find them finger. About them know everything about Sandra. The you Sandra have a dirty character. And then they think they no right, no my sister. Fighting about no, and not about.
Again, good night and welcome to Straight Up. My name is Mark Benshop. And again, this is what your tax-paying dollars is being used for? All manner of dirty, filthy things? All right, look, at a so-called press conference today, this is how, and some of you might be asking why that sort of response. That is called rapid response. And this is how this guy behaved at his so-called press conference. He sits there as the VP of your country, our country. This is how he behaves, all because his bumps raised. And I asked about his bank account in China. He got upset, really upset, and this is how he responded.
These people can be vile and nasty. If I tell you what I know of Benchka, it gets sickening. He was the reigning queen in the prison for 3 years. And the thing is that people, the prison officers, people were carrying food, they were trying to smuggle in a wig and lipstick for him there. I know that because I was president, they gave me reports.
That lunatic you guys have there as a vice president? That lunatic? He never responded. He never answered anything about that bank account he has in China, He never responded to that bank account accusation. It's no longer an accusation unless he proves me wrong. Let Jagdeo come out right and tell you guys that he doesn't have a bank account in China. All because of that bank account situation. He's panicking. He doesn't know what to say. He doesn't know how to respond. And so he talk about smuggling wig. Who smuggles? Something is wrong with this guy. Who smuggles wig in food? Who smuggles? He is panicking. This is the same guy that cried when law enforcement agents stopped him and roughed him up a little bit at the airport as he entered America. This is the guy. Shame on Barra Jagdeo. Shame on Barra Jagdeo. But I had a simple response to Jagdeo, all because of his stupidity. Simple response. Say, you know what? People will more understand and believe this than whatever he said there. They already know that he's cornered and he's nervous. He doesn't know what to say at all. 5 years in solitary confinement, locked away from the prison population. But yet all he can say, compliments of him on a trumped up treason charge, 5 years in solitary confinement in a filthy cell for 5 years, denied me of any sort of early trial. It's not 3 years, 5 years, Jagdeo. 5 years. But God don't sleep. Certainly God doesn't sleep. Now, my only response, and he's already trembling because his boys are probably reporting back to him or he's watching. And he's already panicking about this response.
We can't use them, girl them. Make we reject them, girl them. Go make we run them, I love to run down when you call them. So when we can't settle down, you call them. Everywhere you go, you see them in order. And that's some fight, and that's not right. You know them walking off the arms. Come on, as a young girl, I go up in your era. You know, to make yourself get too regular. Cause every man we come find them finger. About them know everything about Sanja. The true Sanja have a dirty character. And then they think they no right, no my sister. Fighting about now, and not about later. And then they long run and you say one and go.
So the smuggling of wig and lipstick, you know what that probably was used for? It was probably used for this. Because I had to make sure that she's okay and everything, I just had to make sure that she was okay and every single thing. I had to make sure that that was the case. But hey, we have other things we want to deal with, right? Other things we want to deal with. But what we know for sure is that Jagdeo is running scared. He is trembling. He's probably in tears right now as a result of the China situation, that bank account in China. We'll get back to a situation where allegations leveled against him that he is supporting known killers in Guyana, a human rights violations. And it's something that those folks at the, whether it is in Washington or wherever, Ottawa, wherever, they've got to know that the allegations are serious this time around again, that Jagdeo is supporting death squads and Jagdeo is supporting known killers in Guyana, folks who are killing for drug lords in Guyana. That is what the allegations, serious allegations leveled against Jagdeo. And that is what we want to hear about. We don't want to hear about who's smuggling wig, who's smuggling wig, or who's smuggling lipstick. That's the sort of conversations that these guys, these so-called guys, are accustomed having amongst themselves. Nothing of substance, nothing as to how the country can be developed, or nothing, absolutely nothing. And so he was wondering, oh, Ben Shap was in China? Okay, he was wondering that Ben Shap was in China. I don't know why that is of a concern to him. But the fact that he has a bank account in China, and that is what the focus ought to be. Now, I want to ask this question here tonight. And this is what I've asked for a while. Dear Ambassador Chu, do you have any knowledge of Jagdeo owning a bank account in China under fake name with a passport from an African country? And Jagdeo has identified that African country to be Zaire. And have you played, and this is a question I'm asking directly to Ambassador Chu. The question is to the ambassador, have you played a role in the setting up of Jagdeo's bank account in China? That's all I'm asking. Again, this is a message to Guyana's ambassador to China, Ambassador Chu. Do you have any knowledge of Jagdeo owning a bank account in China under a fake name with a passport from an African country, Zaire? And have you played any role, Madam Ambassador? Have you played any role? It's a simple question. Simple question. Have you, Madam Ambassador, Guyana's ambassador to China, have you played any role in setting up of that account for Bharat Jagdeo? I would like for the ambassador to issue a statement on this particular subject. Issue a statement. But let me caution the ambassador. If and when you choose to issue a statement, just ensure that it doesn't contradict anything else. Be consistent in your statement. And so I'll ask the question again so that Jagdeo can understand. These are serious matters. They're not frivolous matters about wigs and lipstick and these sort of nonsense that Jagdeo is accustomed to. These are serious matters. And the question I'm asking again to the ambassador, Guyana ambassador to China, do you, Madam Ambassador, have any knowledge of Jagdeo owning a bank account in China under a fake name with a passport from an African country? And have you, Madam Ambassador, have you played any role? I repeat, have you played any role? Have you admitted of assisting at any point in time, admitted that you assisted Bharat Jagdeo in setting up of that account? Simple question. Simple question. And as for Jagdeo now, Jagdeo at his so-called press conference today said that the coalition government investigated this matter. At no point in time did the coalition investigated whether Jagdeo has a bank account in China or not. At no point in time did the coalition investigate through SOCU, which is the Special Organized Crime Unit, ever investigated whether Jagdeo has a bank account in China or not. Jagdeo is getting confused as to who really investigated. Jagdeo is getting confused. And so when he sits at his so-called press conference and try to divert attention in frivolous stuff, wiggy, something he's just custom, if you know what I mean. So at the end of the day, I am asking a serious question to Bharat Jagdeo, who is the installed vice president, so-called vice president of Guyana, who is accustomed of rigging elections. He rigged the 2020 elections. That's a fact. Let him take a lie detector test. Let him take a polygraph test and say that he did not, that the PPP did not rig the 2020 elections. Let him say that. Let him take a lie detector test to say that the PPP was not installed. Let him take a lie detector test for that. And I also want him to take a lie detector test getting back to that bank account in China. Getting back to that bank account in China. Let Jagdeo not sit at his so-called press conference, his comedy show, because that is what it is, a comedy show with a bunch of comics like Critic and Donkey Cart Man, Vegetable Man, Donkey Cart, Vegetable Man, and Critic, and those guys are not sensible guys. They're not journalists. They're not even reporters. They're flatfoot hustlers, right? But the serious question is, and this is what Jagdeo has to respond to, whether he has a bank account in China with billions of dollars belonging to you, taxpayers of Guyana. That's the question he has to answer. But let me tell you guys this. You already know that he's not going to answer that question. He's going to run around, he's going to beat around the bush because he doesn't want to answer that question. So, since he doesn't want to answer that question, I am saying this publicly to the ambassador, Guyana's ambassador to China, Ambassador True. Let her come out and speak whether at any point in time she has ever assisted Bharat Jagdeo in setting up a bank account in China. That is all I wish to ask the ambassador. Now, if they think that I'm wrong, they can always feel free to go to the courts, which is where they probably should go. And let us iron it out there, because evidence may very well be presented in court. And that is why I'm saving Jagdeo the headache. He doesn't want to come and be truthful to you guys. So I'm going straight to Guyana's ambassador to China. Madam Ambassador, can you say whether you have at any point in time over the past years assisted Bharat Jagdeo in setting up a bank account in China? And whenever, if ever you issue a statement on the matter, please be consistent with what you may have said in the past. Please be consistent. That is all I wish to ask of you, Madam Ambassador. But while the people in Guyana, while the people are punishing, whether in Port Morant, Albion, Philippi, Alnis, Linden, and don't even talk about Linden. They have ignored the plight of the people of Linden after the floods and so forth and so on. No compensation. They just went there, dashed some bleached out bleach for the people, and that's what they believe is sufficient compensation for the people of Linden. So meanwhile, while you guys are getting 20,000, which is just about 100 US or 50, 60 US dollars in cash handouts, guess what? Jagdeo is banking billions of US dollars, according to information, in a bank account, according to information, in China. And so because of that revelation, Jagdeo bumps raised, and he started to cry out, and he got vexed, and all sorts of stuff. So he lashed out. He just lashed out. He couldn't take it anymore. And so he raised his hand, his bumps raised, and he started to lash out. He lashing out, left, right, and center, lashing out. This is the same guy. This is the same Jagdeo. And they went where they went. They went to China with a group of individuals, including a guy who has had his visas revoked by U.S. State Department. Serious allegations of money laundering and all these sort of things. What's his name? Jack Mohan? All of them went to China. So Jagdeo can't talk about people. You know, he points finger at, he loves to call people names. Duncan name, Burke name, Melly Mel, loves to call people names, all manner of things. That is how vile that individual is. And the sooner the PPP is voted out of office, the better for all Guyanese. And Guyana will be able to breathe again. Guyana would have been far ahead had they not rigged the 2020 elections. Forget about Dominic Gaskin and his nonsense. Dominic may be singing for his supper now, but Dominic is just a joker. Just forget about Dominic. If there's any comedy show, invite Dominic to be there, because just a joker. There's no evidence or nothing, but he pops up and talk about rig elections, and he has the real riggers, Jagdeo and all of these guys, the real riggers, pretending as though they're angels. Look, we'll take a quick break, guys. I'll drink me a glass of water, and I'll be right back, because you know what?
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout, and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public face, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no fear with the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Barrett and Sue. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up.
Say we no want them, the girl them. We can't use them, the girl them. Make we reject them, the girl them. Come make we run them, call them. Call them enough to run down when you call them. They want me can't settle down, you call them. Everywhere you go, you see them, you know them. Can't have some fight, so that's not right. You know them walking off the arms. Come on, as a young girl, I go up in your era. You know to make yourself get too regular. Cause every man we come find them finger. About them know everything about Sandra. The Joe Sandra have a dirty character. And then they think they no right, no my sister. Fighting about now and not about later. And then they long running Joe say man I gonna suffer. Full time for you stop acting me say so childish.
All right, so many of you might be wondering who's the ambassador to Guyana, ambassador to China. We'll just play a little clip so you can see and hear and at least see who she is. And we await a response from her concerning Jagdeo's allegations of Jagdeo's bank account in China. Whether she has any knowledge, that's all I wish to, whether she has any knowledge about that bank account. Here's the ambassador. This was at an event. And at least you'll get to hear what she sounds like and what she actually looks like.
So it is actually my distinct pleasure and honor to actually meet you in Shizhou. I think it's destiny. You have made a lot of miracles and you've saved lots of lives during your tenure in Guyana. That distance has not prevented the hearts of our two people from being together and the friendship between our two countries.
Fair enough. Friendship between the two countries indeed. But the question, Madam Ambassador, when you do have the time, I'm sure somebody may have already sent you the message that the question is whether you have at any point in time assisted Bharat Jagdeo in opening a bank account in China. Now, I'm not asking you how much money is in there. Maybe folks are aware that Jagdeo has billions of dollars in a bank account in China. Remember, these are the very people who jumped out and say that Burnham got money in a Swiss bank account. Jagdeo, they have never proven that. And Burnham probably never had a cent in the Swiss bank account. Now, the question is, Bharat Jagdeo, do you have a bank account in China with billions of dollars? billions of US dollars, taxpayers' monies, billions of US dollars. I know he's afraid to answer that question. I'm also aware that he's very touchy about that subject, and that is why I don't. I want to save him a little pressure for now, and I went straight over to the ambassador, Ambassador Chu, and asked for her response. Hopefully, how many of you guys think that Jagdeo or the ambassador is going to respond? I'm not talking about the frivolous stuff or who smuggle wig and who this. Jagdeo might be accustomed of smuggling things. You know, not just wigs. He probably smuggled things all over. He probably has a pouch. Well, we know he already has a. Well, one of the things, the beauty of that, spending some time in Camp Street, you can use terminology that some of you guys won't even understand. Jagdeo talking about smuggling. Jagdeo probably is obviously is accustomed to that, and probably accustomed to putting things in his pouch. A pouch. Good night to all of you again. I'll check some of your comments. What else is happening in your neck of the woods and this beautiful Thursday evening? Look, here's something. People want to hear about blackout. Smuggle good water, clear water for the people of Guyana. That's what Jagdeo should be focused on, right? Look at the latrine that little kids have to use, school children. Talk about these things, Jagdeo. Talk about development of the country, not thieving the people's money. Look at what the people have to go through as a result of an incompetent, corrupt, installed government of Guyana. This is what they have to go through. All the people, it doesn't matter their ethnicity. Think of this: smuggle eggs, smuggle chicken, every single thing. Every single thing is corruption upon corruption upon corruption. But guess what? Another form of corruption is coming around. Right around the corner, you heard Jagdeo. Sorry, guys. Jagdeo is now talking about the zoo. He probably stole money all over from Sue, and now we gone to the zoo. Probably took a lot of money from Sue, according to Vice News and the report and the evidence and so forth they may have. But Jagdeo is running from that. He has never responded. Soku has never gone after him for that. The allegations of bribe. Imagine a man sits there taking bribe, allegations that he has taken bribe. Sue said that is what they do. No investigations, nothing at all. No smuggling of the evidence out of Jagdeo's chambers or his pouch or his oven or whatever. No. And I'm sure there might be so much evidence there, but no talk about Sue. He jumped from Sue and the man talking about the zoo, the botanical gardens that they destroyed for almost 30 years. And I'm not talking about the PPP cabinet, because that's a different zoo all by itself. A different zoo. So since he's talking about the botanical gardens and he's looking for wild animals and so forth and so on, wild hogs, Sakawinki, and all these sort of things, looking for wild hogs, Sakawinki, and all these sort of things. All, and you guys know what I mean. You're looking for wild hog, Sakawinki. I'm sorry about that. The cabinet is an entire zoo by itself. I don't know what's going on with our operator. The cabinet is an entire zoo by itself, a big zoo. So guess what? So this whole talk, suddenly, here how the zoo thing came around. They went to Berbice and they paid a bunch of people to take people. They gave taxpayers money, not PVP money, red t-shirts. And they forced folks to go to their meetings, and now they're claiming that 3,000 young people in red dress, red t-shirt, red hair, all manner of things, right? Taxpayers' money. And so the zoo thing, the botanical garden stuff came around because they want to, they're going to send out something now for young people to be involved in that in the schools and so forth. You can preempt the next move of these PACUs, right? And so that's what they're going to do, a national competition, so that people can maybe design the zoo, the botanical garden, talk about what animals they need in the zoo. And we don't have to look far for animals, right? We don't have to look far for animals. But here is what this whole thing about the zoo is about. It is not that Jagdeo is concerned about the botanical gardens. It used to be so beautiful when I was growing up. My first trip there was when I had to have been probably 9 years old or whatever it is. We had an excursion with a big Tata bus and we couldn't sleep. For 2 months, we couldn't sleep because that is when, I must admit to you guys, that is when I first saw Jagdeo. We were just about 9 or 10 years old. And since then he had his eyes on. But we were small boys, mind you. And so the botanical gardens back then was so beautiful. It was well kept. It was clean. And of course, that was on the PNC and Bornham and so forth and so on, right? And lots of young people, regardless of our ethnicity, didn't matter. We sit down in that bus from quarantine and we had fun. We had fun. Man, we had fun. Because Papa got Georgetown, right? We had fun. And that's when we all, I don't know if some of my friends, and we're all old people now. I don't know if they can't remember when we ran into Milo, right? And Milo has gotten big now. Take a look. That's when we first ran into Jagdeo, also known as Milo, right there at the botanical garden. So for him now to say that he wants to, they're going to redo or rehabilitate the botanical garden, the same botanical garden that they destroyed, that Jagdeo, yes, the same botanical garden that Jagdeo, they destroyed. So now he's going to give the contract to his friends and his cronies. That is what he is going to do. The botanical garden, there was already a plan under the coalition for that very botanical garden. And so Jagdeo stole the plan, stole the idea from the coalition government. And what he's going to do now, they're going to put a tune to probably $2 billion. They're going to, as long as money is involved, Jagdeo, also known as Milo, Jagdeo will be there. Milo Jagdeo will be there. That is what it's all about, guys. Jagdeo doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about people. He doesn't care about the country. It is all a hustle. When he had all of his material shipped from China to New York, from New York to DR, DR, Dominican Republic, right? And from there straight to State House. All of the materials. Ask him who purchased. Ask him who shipped those materials. These are questions that we need answered. Don't come and ask and holler about who asked. Sorry. Who smuggled what and who smuggled what and who this. While his friends and his cronies are smuggling tons upon tons of cocaine out of the country, while his friends and his cronies are smuggling guns into Guyana, smuggling cocaine to Europe, to Africa, to wherever. So he understands a thing or two about smuggling. You know what I mean? Hey, guess what? We'll take a quick break. We're looking at the time, guys, but we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back with more of Straight Up on 107.1 FM. Again, before I go, let me say hi to all of the beautiful hairdressers out there. All of the cosmetologists, they are really good. And especially the cosmetologists at Ben Shop Hair Salon, Ben Shop Beauty Salon. We'll be right back.
We can't use them, the girl them. Make we reject them, the girl them. Come make we run them, cause they call them, I love to run down when you call them. They want me can't settle down, you call them. Everywhere you go, you see them, you know them. And that's some fight, and that's not right. You know them walking off the arms. Come on, as a young girl, I go up in your era.
that part, I don't know how many of you guys understand that song, DBDB, and you know what DBDB means, right? Some of you in the audience, tell us what DBDB means. Well, it's Sandra. There's nothing against Sandra, right? But we know Milo has a dirty character. That is what it is all about. Hey, guys, what else is happening before we go? I know you guys already have a name, sorry. And that name is Milo, and we already know who is Milo. DBDB, Milo, yes, and the resemblance is there, right? The resemblance is there. I mean, it's a dead heat, if you ask me. But well, that's okay. All right. Now, the other thing, Milo, Jagdeo, aka Milo, he said just not so long ago that this school is completed. The school out in Linden. It's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a while. Right? It's been a while. It's been a while. And so hundreds of millions of taxpayers' monies. But one of the things that Milo didn't say today is that for almost 3 years they've deprived. Almost 3 years they've deprived hundreds upon hundreds of young people in Linden. They have caused parents additional expenses in terms of taking their kids to school and all manner of things. That is what they have done. But they come with a little scrawly looking school by some scrawly looking foreman or whatever they call themselves, this Bamia school. Jagdeo said the other day, Jagdeo, also known as Milo, said the other day that the school is completed, it's ready to go. But this is a state-of-the-art school. A state-of-the-art school, and look at the condition already. I'm wondering whether this school is strong enough. Look at Black Tank is in front of the school. You have rusty looking poles, electrical pole here and there and so forth, and yet this is a state-of-the-art school? You've got to be kidding. And then he blamed it on, oh, it's COVID. COVID is the cause. Oh, and then material went up and all manner of things. It is a shame and a disgrace. Pity this guy is such an embarrassment. Such an embarrassment. That is what it is all about. Such an embarrassment. That is what it is all about. Now, some of the bumps, Jagdeo and his folks, Jagdeo known as Milo, you know, Jagdeo and his Jagdeo and Milo. So they're sending their people out now as quickly as possible. They're sending their people. They're sending their people as quickly as possible. Come on, come on. Go on Benja's page and attack him. Attack him on his page. That is what's going on right now, right? It's a little too late for that. You guys can do it. The damage already done. It's done with Jagdeo, also known as Milo. I've got to go, but Milo has to tell us about that bank account in China. Come on, Milo. But guess what they're going to do? They are going to try to get some more Milo from China. They're going to get a little Ovaltine from Brazil. But the bulk of Milo will come from China. And that's where the corruption is again with Jagdeo. That is what it's all about. And the only thing, mind you, Milo and Milo and Lilo, lie down low. The only thing they can talk about is silly things and you know, those sort of things, right? And joke thing, and you know, that's all they can talk about. They have nothing else to talk about. They're a bunch of vagabonds. Lilo cry for a little boy, all over a little boy, and still, according to information, is doing some nasty things right there. some of the little boys who are being hired at NCN and DPI. Lots and lots of allegations, mind you. We will talk about that. We will talk a lot about those things. Trust me on that. But hey, guess what? Brutus is home. Anil has been quiet. Jagdeo is concerned about files being leaked on him, and maybe rightly so, and all manner of things. Meanwhile, serious matters such as the abductors are out of prison, alleged abductors, and the young man is still missing. But nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about that. At least Jagdeo isn't concerned about that, because Jagdeo is busy according to information, covering up stuff. Busy covering up stuff. Covering up crime, meddling, and protecting killers, and all manner of things. It's just a matter of time before more and more information gets out in public domain. It's just a matter of time before Milo is put in a cage. And God in heaven knows when Milo is put in a cage, what Milo will be smuggling into that cage. Certainly it wouldn't be wigs. Certainly it wouldn't be lipstick. All right, Puff Daddy is in jail. Maybe all of the Johnson & Johnson are gone for now. But by the time Milo is placed in a cage, thousands of those Johnson & Johnson will return to the shelves just in time for Milo. But for now, my name is Mark Benshop. I'll be out of here. I'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time, right here on 107.1 FM. But I've noticed a lot of people have been asking to give Milo what he deserves. To give Milo what he deserves, or whatever deserves. And tonight, Milo gets the award. He deserves, or the thing deserves the award. Let's go, guys. All right, here's where I'll say at least a good night for now. I'll be back tomorrow night, same place, same time. Don't forget, guys. Don't forget Milo. Milo is around. Milo is angry. Just angry. But ask Milo about that bank account in China. You guys don't allow them to control social media. He is definitely angry. But we're smarter than them 10 times, right? Aren't we? Yeah. And good night to all of those others who keep hope alive. And good night to all of the social media commentators and so forth. You guys know who you are. Keep the faith, guys. We got Milo cornered. We got Milo, and Lilo. We got them cornered. I'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time. So long. Bye-bye.
Sit there and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Zhurong?
Su? Oh, Su? My relationship? Nothing. He's a tenant in my place, yeah.
And he's a good...
Yourself get to
bottle before and after hard work. Give me, give me, give me, give me. I want a hard worker, a man that can keep up pressure in any kind of weather. I am me and I go do the work. Aye, Mr. Man, I ain't making joke. Give me hard work, round the clock. Yes, give me hard work. Come rock me up. Walk, walk, walk. Make me perspire. Walk, walk, walk. I say give me pressure. Hey, give me hard work. Round the clock. Give me hard work. Come rock me up.
Lily gal, lily gal, lily gal, lily gal, what make your presence so? Lily gal, lily gal, lily gal, lily gal, what make your presence so? From out the 14 and into 15, I make a presence so. From out the 14 and into 15, I make a presence so.
Lily gal, lily gal, lily gal, lily gal, what make your presence so? Lily gal, lily gal, lily gal, lily gal, what make